All right, welcome to Doozer Shop. Appreciate everyone's comments on the tooling, Morse taper tooling for the horizontal boring mill video. I really like interacting with you guys, for sure. I think I had a couple of videos where I accidentally had the comments turned off, and I can't turn it back on, but I think I got it back on now, obviously, because I'm receiving your comments. So thank you for that. A couple guys were asking about Kim Brzelik. I talked to him around Christmas time, and he was doing okay. I think he had some health issues in the family, but he's doing good himself. So that's cool. But anyhow, I've just been busy, and I wanted to show you guys some of the miscellany updates that I've been on projects in the shop. So let me take the camera handheld and let's just do a mishmash video of different stuff that I've been working on. So let me grab it. All right, let me back up here. So I got a stand of shelves, and these have been outside for years, and I had 2 cylinder heads on them, and intake manifold, and some car springs, and a starter, and a water pump, and I had kind of a piece of sheet metal tin over it to shade some of the rain. But this was my outside storage for some engine parts, and it's too nice for that, okay? So what I did today is actually last night I sprayed the entire thing down with phosphoric acid. I think Clean Strip Concrete and Metal Prep from Lowe's and Home Depot carry it in a gallon size. Good stuff. So I sprayed this last night, let it set overnight, and in the morning I went over the entire thing with a wire cup wheel on the pneumatic drill, and wire brushed the whole thing, and wiped it down with lacquer thinner just to clean any residual grease. This was from a factory, and they stored press dies, die sets on this, and it was dented up, and forklift had hit the bottom, and it twisted the angle iron, and it buckled in the bottom shelf, and I re-twisted it back. I had 2 12-inch crescent wrenches and a block of steel and a big hammer, and I dollied it all back into shape. But these are so cool. I got the flash lamp here. Is that better or worse? Maybe. So let me turn the camera over. Pollard, Chicago, Pollard, Chicago. And if you go to the Pollard website, they actually still exist. This stand of shelves is like $800, and you can buy it today. But I don't even know what gauge these are. Sorry, what gauge these are, but they're, I'd say that's 16 gauge. 16 gauge, almost like the muffler pipes on your car are 16 gauge. But I mean, this thing, I think the rating on this thing is like 8,000 pounds, equally distributed weight. So yeah, this thing is so cool. Okay, the reason that prompted me to get this, and it's like 5.5 feet tall, get this spiffed up, is a shelf for vices and rotary tables and indexers, okay? I was thinking, should I, so first off, I don't want to paint it. I love the patina. Let me come on this side. I know the light hits it different. And I notice my camera doesn't truly focus finely, unless you're really not moving very fast. If you're moving kind of fast, the focus never really gets perfect. But anyways, it just looks shiny from the lights, the light in the ceiling. But it's still got some residual paint, and it's still got some, you know, blue mill scale, black mill scale. But it's got, so all these 1/4-20 bolts, half of them were missing, and every single one was loose. So, I mean, I spent an hour tightening bolts and putting new bolts and new nuts and different things. But I love the patina. I really don't think I'm going to paint it, even though I wiped the entire thing with lacquer thinner. And it's like 18 inches by 2 foot or something like that, maybe 16 inches by 2 foot. So the reason I want this is, all right, that's, I should have a beer to set on it or something. That's a big vise. That thing is like a 10-inch vise. That's a Russian-made vise. It's got the swivel base. That's going to go on one of my, I don't know, the shaper or the planer. Here's another vise. It's even bigger. I think this is 14 inches. It's lighter construction than the other one, but I think it's wider. And you can't tell because I got the Kearney and Trecker overarms. But two vices to stick on there. I've got a Versa mill. It's a 30 taper, and it goes up and down. I'm not even gonna, but it's got twin lead screws. There's 2 lead screws, and it's got these 4 posts. I need to get rid of this thing. If somebody wants it, hit me up. I'll let it go at a reasonable price. So yes, 2 vices. Need to store on that shelving. I gotta move these transmissions. That indexer, look at the wheel on this thing. You know what? Lighting. There you go. That thing's got a ton. It's even got a drive shaft input for having the mill table so you can turn spirals. Rosen 4s, made in Sweden, Rosen 4s. So that might live on a shelf. And you can't tell, but it's on a 15 or 18. I forget, the biggest Bridgeport rotary table, I think it's a 15 or an 8, no, that's an 18. And it's a little rusty, but it's in fine condition aside from that. So that needs to live on the shelf. I think that's a Brown and Sharp indexer. I believe that's Brown and Sharp. So 2 indexers, a rotary table. It's 3, 4, 5 vices. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus the top, so that's 6. I could put something a little lighter up there. But I've got this die lift, this dandy die cart. Forgive the floor jack behind it. Or just stick that there. Let me roll it out. Let me show you. Oops. Yeah, so look at this die cart. This thing is sweet. That's going to be my key ticket tool item to lift whatnot and whatever up onto these shelves. Let me back up even more. Yeah, this die cart is just jam up. So it does the slopey thing, but once you get it up, it gets parallel. Let me show you. This thing is just so cool. I don't remember the name. It's a lift stacker, the Grand Specialties, Lombard, Illinois. Okay. I think Mr. Pete's out there. Hold on. So that's the Giacomo. And see, it gets parallel once you give it a few pumps. But that thing will go right to hay up there. And I got two of these, another one that doesn't tilt back on the little caster wheel. But this thing is crazy cool. It looks old school with the struts. See how it goes up? And like I said, you can, it seems scary putting it back, but it's really not. I can't back up enough. But yeah, it holds it. It's pretty neat. Ugh. But that's going to be useful. The problem is I have no place to put the shelves. In that corner is the Kearney and Trekker. And I've got my little bandsaw on wheels next to it. I can't even point, doesn't matter. This thing I need to get rid of or do something with it. This grinder thing, I listed it for sale on Practical Machinist, you know, lots of views, no interest. I mean, it's a cool machine. I don't think I'll have time to work on it. If somebody falls in love with it, I will sell it to them for a fair price. I got the table of engine parts cleared off. Oops, I'm gonna trip here. Of the mighty Pratt & Whitney, right? So all the pistons, and I need to get that engine together, I stuffed over on the table over here, right? I brought the shop radio out. I can get some cool sounds out here. And then, you know, my drill bit caddy is full, nearly full. I got a couple where the blocks of wood are. I have some missing sizes, and Noah offered to possibly trade with some drill bits, fill in some of my spots, so appreciate that, Noah. I want to back up again. I had some signs just stored away, some tin metal signs, and you guys remember that window used to be a fan, and I says I need a nice window sealed for heat and cold, better than the fan, which is just drafty as can be. So I got my truck stuff up there, some license plates from my dad and my grandfather. I got some Harley Davidson motorcycle stuff. Not too into Harleys, but I mean, you can't deny they're cool and they're neat and they're fun and they're loud and they're powerful and they're just neat. Like I said, not a Harley guy per se, but when I was growing up, I had these and I kept them and I hung them up. You guys know I like Fords and Internationals, so that's up there too. I had one from Buff State College. Got my master's at Buff State, so that's really cool. It's I don't know if it's pencil or charcoal. And I had a award from college Outstanding thesis award for a, let's see, development of a purpose-built CNC lathe for production. So I hung that up because, hey, why not? All right. Oh, forgive the welder and another lift table. The partner Miltronics CNC Bridgeport, that's like a Series 2 Bridgeport size like but anyways, that thing's been plugged in and running for like 4 years. I really haven't used it. Like the mighty Josh Topper manual only machine shop. I'm kind of that way. I've done some simple programs and some stuff with it, but I'm just a manual guy, and I know it can cut pockets and curves, and you know, that manual machines would have a hard time doing. But I got so many rotary tables and just, I got so much stuff. I'm thinking about letting this go at a semi-reasonable price. I know it's probably worth $5,000 or $6,000. And it's got the Centurion 6 updated control. I think it came with Centurion 2, so it's the modern. And you know, on top is the book, the programming manual, that black 3-ring binder there. I got that's the user manual, and then I got the maintenance and something else manual in the house. But that thing is a honey. Nothing's wrong with it. Oops, I keep turning the camera. Not a thing is wrong with it. It runs programs, it jogs, I put a new drawbar impact wrench on there. I haven't listed it yet. My buddy Angel he wants to design, he's got an idea for a prototype, something or other. He's going to draw it up in SolidWorks, and Angel uses these Miltronics mills, so he knows them pretty well. I said, dude, just come over on the weekend and just, you can use it. You know, if you want to use it to make your prototype, and I know you program Miltronics every day and be a whiz-bang easy thing for you, just come over and do it, dude. I mean, I don't care. And, you know, we'd have fun. I got to get the transformers. This is a 575 volt only motor on the Gardner, which is really made by Abrasive, and it was owned by Landis or something. But this thing is a full rollerway cable drive machine. This thing is really cool. I got the transformers, I just got to build a box. I got a couple metal boxes, some have pneumatic stuff in them that I got to strip out and reuse or whatever. Always something. Let me show you something real quick on the mighty International Harvester 6-cylinder. So this is called either a silver diamond or a black diamond. If it's a 220 or a 240 cubic inch, it's a silver diamond. If it's a 264 or a 265, which I think is the same thing, they call it the black diamond. I think this is a black diamond because it's a 264 and it's black. But anyways, I want to show you something. So I got to make this quick. So the distributor goes there, and most engines, the oil pump bolts right below the distributor because it drives it. So the oil pump, you know, it's up underneath. You know, you got to flip it over to see it, but trust me. So this little casting protrusion is the flange for the oil pump, okay? And it bolts up underneath inside. And see that bulge there? I should get the flashlight, but so that bulge is the oil passage from the oil pump. So it gets picked up from the pan, pumped, and then the oil pumps up and it meets this horizontal passage, right? Okay, this is a horizontal passage for the oil, okay, so you know. So notice there's no filter yet. The filter is here, but it's a bypass filter. And for people that are not familiar, this is not a full flow filter system. It only is like a kidney loop. It bleeds off some oil and just filters it and puts it back to the pan. Filters it and puts it back to the pan. It's like a tap off. Big trucks have it. I think they're called lubrifiners. But anyways, the bearings were scarred a little bit on the mains. The rods are okay, so I want to replace the mains. But anyways, so how this works is, there it is. Comes from the pump, tees off, goes back. There's a port drilled to the mains and the cams. Another port drilled to the mains and the cams. That's drilled to the mains and the cams. And that front one is drilled to the mains and the cams. So okay. There's so that's a piece of tubing. So imagine that goes to there and then it's drilled up to there. Right? That's how the oiling system works. I'm trying to keep this short. But, so what I want to do is make a full filtered system. So you'd have to break in to that area there. Before the tee, you'd have to come to a filter it, and then come back to this gallery. Can't do that. The newer engines, the same engine family, they switched to a full flow filter and they extended this boss, this pad, over to here, and they break in, from the factory. Like I said, that bolt-up flange is extended because you can't do anything here. There's no meat there. That's only an 1/8 to 3/16 thick. There's no way you can tap in there and have enough meat for a pipe thread fitting. Nothing. It's just impossible. So one of the things I'm going to do, so this is a piece of 5/16 tubing, like for fuel line or whatever, and let me stick that in there. So these are 1/8 inch pipe thread ports, and the only reason they're there is because they're the drill ports to connect the gallery to the bearings. And also, I think, you can put a pressure gauge there or a pressure switch there, or, I think these are just plugged, and I think there's an oil pressure gauge. But what I'm going to do is this. So they must have used a 5/16 drill bit to drill. Now I got stuck. So that's, what is that, 6 inches? Pretend that's 6 inches. There's a joke there. And it's not in all the way, but let me get up. All right. So what this does and how this works, that passage from the gallery gets drilled straight over to here, and then there's an angled passage that goes and connects the cam and the crank. So I'm tilting the camera. So that thing intersects just above here and kind of forms a T. But I'm intersecting that passage. I'm in the passage. So if I were to feed oil to this tubing, I would I'd be oiling the main and the cam. So what I'm going to do is let me sit back down in my chair. Is put one of these in every hole, every four of the holes that feed the bearings, and then I'll put a fitting on and manifold all these together. So basically, there it is. To take the oil out of the main gallery, I'll just come out of there. So that's the supply to the bypass filter, that's the return to the oil pan. And if it chokes off the oil flow too much, I'll just drill a hole here and tap off on this side of this what would be this feed for the second bearing. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to use this tubing. Seeing as it goes right, that's tapped for 1/8 inch pipe thread, I'm going to get a piece of steel and drill it out for 1/4 inch inside, 5/16 outside, and cut tapered pipe threads on my steel part, and maybe make a hex, and then maybe end up with a flare fitting or something, so I can manifold some copper tubing or steel tubing, or you know, a hose, a couple hoses to manifold from my filter. So that's my plan for the International 6-cylinder, to give it full flow oiling. That's kind of what I wanted to share with that. Anyhow, that's how that's progressing along. I don't think I got anything else to show you. You know, the head for it is in here. It's been sitting here. I might plane the head. Oh, I wanted to show you that I did all that work with the tooling for the Giddings & Lewis boring mill. Yay, lamp, light. So this is the rear main. I'm going to touch it and get greasy. Okay. It's hard to see, but that's the rope seal. See, there's the rope there and the rope there. And there's a guy, I think his name's Jason McConville, and he's in Alberta, I think, or Vancouver, I forget. And he does this for Fords. So this was included in the gasket kit, right? And this'll fit on the end of the cranky shaft for the engine. So what he does is, you know, this bolts to the block. He'll machine the rear main cap and the block, and then this will end up, you know, pressing in to both of them. So that's kind of what was motivating me on the getting that tooling situation straightened out for the boring mill. So I can't wait. I'm going to yank the engine block and put it on the table and get all my junk off the table. Now it means I got to come up with a tooling solution to store all this stuff. And, you know, I'll bring it in here, the block, and I'll use the hoist, and I'll bring it over and drop it down and do my machining. And like I said, Jason McConville, I think his name is. I wish I remembered. But he's on Facebook and YouTube. Cool channel. He's got this. Oh, the reason I know him is he's got the same exact machine. He's got a Giddings & Lewis. But anyhow, yeah, that's kind of about it. I hope you enjoyed my little ramblings on my projects and my shelving and my engine block and what I did in the shop. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed Doozer Shop.